All right, we got the cabinet sanded, glued, screwed, and tattooed. I just slapped the stain on it after putting the pre-stain on it yesterday evening. I wanted to, well, no, I put the pre-stain on it this morning. Man, my brain is cooking fast. Um, we've got the dark walnut bands in here and along the strip of the top. All the rest of the cabinet is done in what did I say? A honey stain. And the faux finishing is still looking pretty good on it. Um, we're going to let this tack up real good and soak in for a while, and then we'll wipe it down and let it air dry for a good portion of the morning, maybe till afternoon. And then we will put a sand coat on it uh, to get her sealed up, pretty much. These pock marks I'm going to fill with a grain fill on the thing to kind of even them out. Try to get them blended as close as I can to the original wood. Let me turn this thing here around here so you can see in there the inside and the back, and this back edges right here is all done in a midnight blue satin. The edges right there on these on the speaker grill openings are midnight blue, as well as the bottom is midnight blue. So we're gonna take this thing over here and let it sit here in the to bask in the glow of the sun, to bake it up pretty good, and then we're going to shoot it with a couple of coats, seal coats on it, before we do a green fill on the thing to get everything nice and tight. So stay tuned. We're still rocking. There we go. Okay, on this radio, this is the antenna that came with that radio. I had to restring, well, didn't have to, but I restrung the outer coils on both sides of the pickup cup in the middle here on this wave magnet. We got it cleaned up. We got it restrung on the outside with the number 28 enameled wire. This is the only mount that came with this antenna, so it was kind of dangling in there everywhere else. I had to make these two for the fastening down the bottom half of the antenna to the cabinet. Got that straightened out on the connections to the socket pins, and so this here is ready to go as whenever it gets the call. One other thing I want to do with this radio, I checked out the voltage readings on the tubes, and they're all right there. And did a temp check on all the tube temperatures, and the other thing I was going to do with this before winding it up, because right now it's ready to go back in the cabinet as soon as the cabinet is ready. But I'm going to install an auxiliary input to this chassis, and feed it to the back panel, on the new back panel that's going to go on the cabinet whenever it's ready and everything is all back in. And I'm going to provide a Bluetooth receiver with this particular radio. As a matter of fact, I've got enough to provide Bluetooth receivers for all three of the 529s that I have, or that I will be doing. This is going to be the first one out the door. Over here, I've got the cabinet. I got a single coat of clear on it. In 2 hours, I'm going to shoot another coat on this, and then tomorrow I might be able to get 2 more coatings on this by the end of the day, provided it ain't freezing ass cold outside. And then we're going to take and give her a quick sand schmoozing out and see just how far we need to go with this thing in order to get a good finish on it. And then I will address at that time these pock marks in the top. So we're moving right along here. I have the material already for the speaker cloth. So I think the next one up on the bench, which the bench is ready for another victim. Somebody sent me their radio to do a refurbishment on. I don't know if I'm going to do incremental videos on that, but I may do a checkout video on it and a final video on it. So that's what we're going to be doing for a while. So stay tuned. There'll be more as soon as I can get something completed here. Okay, we just gave our cabinet a third coat. We're going to let that cure up for a couple hours and see how she is. We managed to go ahead and get the antenna and the speaker and the other stuff ready. I went ahead and added my auxiliary input to it. I started out, put a jack on that thing, an RCA jack, and got to looking at the cabinet and the antenna and did a mock-up assembly of the thing and realized that I couldn't put the plug into the jack because the speaker inhibited, or the plug inhibited the antenna from being fitted back into the cabinet. So I had to go all the way in with the lead-in line, and all I'm going to do is put this through the one of the openings in the antenna, and bring it through the back side of the vac cover, so that way it'll facilitate the easy removal of everything if you have to open up the cabinet and get into the tubes or anything. So we got that much of a thing done. Now I guess what it's going to be is just a matter of getting the cabinet completed so we can get everything together. So that looks like it's going to probably happen over the weekend. So we're really close. So one other thing I was going to cover was the next item that's going to hit the table is nothing seems to cooperate with everybody anymore. This is an uncooperative planet, I'll tell you. It's really irking me. That radio there is going to be next. Let me see if I can get some light on it. Yeah. There we go. That there's a Firestone. A subscriber sent it to me and said, "What a?" And I said, "Uh-huh." So we're going to do that next. Get that going for him so I can get it back to him. I think this person lives in Iowa. So, but don't quote me on that. You know how my memory is. So anyway, that's going to be next. So stand by. We'll continue on.